Hi, it's day 77. We're about 4/5 of the way done framing and deciding window placement on the go, pretty much flying using the force. For things like strapping for structural stability and how to tie in the walls with the roof, as Rich would say, we'll worry about that when we get to it. A part of me is already worried about it. But that's just not the way Rich works. Thinking several steps ahead is just not the way his mind works. Perhaps something to do with his dyslexia. But it's been a good learning experience for me to be exposed to that and work in that way. Because the upside is that we're always moving forward. Perhaps not in the anticipated direction. We're kind of in uncharted territory now. We're no longer doing pole construction as you might see in a book, but sort of a hybrid between pole construction and stick framing. So we could be on the leading edge or the bleeding edge. We'll soon find out, I guess, when the cabin is done and we have our first major storm. But it's not just Rich who's teaching me this Just Do It philosophy. Met another great guy down the road, Corey. He's a ticketed carpenter, but he's also taught himself to create works of art in the form of hollow wooden surfboards, really spectacular boards. And he really helped me out by talking through his process for moving ahead to work through problems and also to overcome errors that he's made. Last week was a real turning point for me. I was going through a lot of grief, self-created, and had an epiphany of sorts that I really needed to let go of this idea of perfection or any reasonable facsimile. And yeah, it's something that I've continually had to relearn. When I was first starting out writing, I saw Chuck Palahniuk, the author of Fight Club, speak, and when he was signing a book for me afterward, he gave me a piece of advice that I could have done well to learn, and that was simply make mistakes. And yeah, I realize now that was probably the best piece of advice I'd ever received, that I'd followed, inadvertently or not. And yeah, I know that I have a tendency to fall into analysis paralysis, which is simply a fear of making a boo-boo, and that could have brought me to a grinding halt as far as the cabin goes. So I'm embracing now this idea of more doing, less thinking, and just allowing things to happen and working in good faith that it's all going to turn out. So the goals for this week are to finish the framing, stick up the plywood, and get the windows in. The windows are a bit of a wild card. I've already broken one pane moving it in the truck. But since we've already framed them in, if we move a pane of glass up the hill and break it, then we not only have to find another piece of glass, but we'll also have to reframe that wall. And we're slamming in enough spiral nails that removing any of that framing is going to be major surgery. So it could be a fun week. Until next time, please join me in going forth and making mistakes.